Welcome back to the FANDOM-sphere for episode 2. I'm Lucy,
And I'm Emery. Hi.
and this week we are going to be discussing episode 2 of the third season of Miraculous Ladybug, Weredad. So we just went and watched the episode because we haven't watched the English dub yet. We just watched it when it was in, I think this one was in French originally when we watched it. But we hadn't watched it recently, so we went ahead and rewatched the episode just so we could talk about it. So we're going to go through that, and then after we talk about the episode, we will continue with the audiofic that you guys, that we started last week. So stay tuned for that. So like I said, we're starting with Weredad today, and this is the episode where Manynette confesses to Cat Noir because she doesn't want him to find out that she's Ladybug. And then after he breaks her heart, her dad gets akumatized. And he wants to protect her from any future guys who might break her heart.
A very noble cause.
Yes, this episode made me really happy because I like seeing Manynette's family.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a lot more of her parents, specifically her dad.
Her parents are really great. They're really great parents.
They really are. They're, probably the best parents in the whole show. Not that they have to try that hard, considering that the show has Gabriel Agreste. But, let's just jump right into our character discussion with Manynette's dad, Tom Dupin. And he is apparently the ultimate Meerkat shipper. I don't know about you, but I figure most parents, when they see a guy dressed up in black leather on their daughter's balcony, do not immediately jump to, come to Sunday brunch. I feel like that's a little extreme.
I love that. That was great.
But, he's just so invested in his daughter being happy.
Yeah, and I think that's what the core of it is. It's not so much that he's like, yay, my daughter's dating. It's, yay, my daughter is happy. And
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it so great.
He loves Manynette so much, and he just wants whatever is best for her in that way. And it was really nice to see that I love that we get such a good relationship between Manynette and her parents.
Yeah, and also a healthy reaction to their daughter being romantically interested in someone. We, at least in America, we have this stereotype of the dad sitting at the dinner table cleaning his gun when the daughter brings her boyfriend home, and is like, don't break my daughter's heart. But here it's, oh, yay, I get to meet the person that my daughter is in love with. I want them to be happy. I want them to have a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's really nice to see that, and we've seen that with how her parents handle her crush on Adrian. Her parents are super supportive.
Yeah.
They're just like, Manynette, be with whoever you want because everybody's going to love you.
Yeah.
I love that Tom just immediately assumes that everybody will love his daughter.
Which, I think in a way does kind of set her up for heartbreak. But Manynette's a pretty well-adjusted person, so it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
it works out.
I think that that's a very good point. It's almost like her dad more sets himself up for heartbreak by assuming this.
Because most people, they end up dating a couple people before they find the person they're meant to be with. There are those lucky ones who find that person right off the bat, but
And Tom is there, Cat Noir at the dinner table and telling him, do you have a good job? Do you, do you want hamsters? And can you imagine you guys are gonna have kids?
Not kids. Kittens.
What is that? He knows Cat Noir's not an actual cat, right?
But there's magic involved in these superheroes. He doesn't know.
That is true.
But he's supportive no matter what. He's I'm gonna love my grandchildren, even if they are part cat.
And I love, the fact that he's just, so invested, he's ready to do whatever he needs to do for his daughter and to help this relationship that they have.
He wants it to blossom like the rose that Cat brought for her.
I have to say, though, I think it's funny that I forgot that the rose is just one that he was given with his food for breakfast. And so I think it's really funny that he's just like, I'm just going to take this random rose.
He had to be back pretty quickly. I mean, he was like, I do not have time to stop by a flower shop.
And, I mean, I love Tom, his reaction to the rose, which is like, you brought her a pink rose. Pink is her favorite color. You know each other so well. But, I mean, Tom is wonderful. He's an awesome dad.
Yes, he is the ultimate dad.
And I guess that brings us to Manynette's mom, Sabine.
She is the best, too.
Like,
oh my
Manynette
gosh.
just lucked out in the parent department.
She did. She really did.
Because we have Sabine, and in this episode, she's very, like, down to earth.
Yes, she's very cautious about everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that she is so concerned about Cat Noir.
Yeah.
She's like, I love my daughter. I want her to be happy. But let's scale this back for a second. What does Cat Noir want? Is he in love with our daughter?
Yeah, and that's really good because it would be so easy for her to just be like, yes, my daughter's wonderful. Cat Noir should date her.
Mm-hmm.
When it's like, no, like, it's smart that she's teaching her daughter that they need to take a step back and view what the other person wants.
Because you know what? Life lesson, people. Consent matters.
And that's just something that Cat Noir will eventually have to figure out.
Oh, do we really have to go into that?
I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Oh, snap.
Oh, okay. Anyways. But, you know, we gotta love that Sabine, she doesn't take Cat Noir's rejection to mean anything against her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She's just very much like, this is just how it is. She tries to talk to Tom afterwards and tell him the whole thing of, like, that it's okay that Manynette will find somebody.
Yeah.
And I love that. She's very optimistic with everything. She's very, like, we don't have to dwell on this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good match between her and her husband then, because they kind of balance each other out a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Tom and Sabine are parent goals, and they are just amazing.
They should just adopt Adrian/Cat Noir.
Yes. But that can make some other things kind of tricky. But they should totally, like, just, like, allow him to live there.
I mean, as in, take him in, influence him, you know, maybe that way he'll learn consent. You know, like...
They need to have, you know, Tom should just, like, actually teach Cat Noir how to bake.
Yeah.
And then they can bond over this, and then Cat Noir can just learn how to improve himself.
Mm-hmm.
And everything. And, I mean, really, he needs that. He's 14. He needs to, like, grow and everything.
I forget that they're, like, 14. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're still babies.
Yeah. It's like, dang.
I'm like, they have time to learn. They have time to learn from their mistakes and become better people.
So, I mean, I guess that brings us into these kids, Manynette. So we have Manynette and her whole confession to Cat Noir, which I realized does not actually make sense at all because she was standing on her own balcony. And why does she feel like she has to justify being on her own balcony? Like, I get that she was supposed to be asleep because it was like the middle of the night.
But I mean, she could have just used the excuse, hey, I was standing on my balcony because I was watching the Sakuma fight. It was really awesome. Like, thank you for saving the day, Cat Noir.
So, I have to ask, how long was the Sakuma battle then? If Manynette was still in her day clothes, but was supposedly in bed.
I don't know. Maybe
like,
she, like, changed before she went to go fight.
I mean, that would be smart in case she detransforms, like, halfway across Paris and has to walk.
But, I mean, if she stayed in her pajamas, she could have been like, I was sleepwalking.
Oh my gosh. Yes, that should just be an excuse that she comes up with from now on. She's sleepwalking, and that's just what gets her out of things.
But no, like, she could have used many other excuses for why she was on her own balcony.
Yeah, like, I mean...
She could have said, I was sneaking out.
Yeah, like, that would have been hilarious. Like, I just would love, like, Cat Noir's reaction to the fact that Manynette was sneaking out in the middle of the night. Like, what the heck?
We need to write fan fiction.
Okay, fanfic happening. But, I mean, Manynette, in this episode, we get to see a lot of, just, I guess, kind of how she views Cat Noir.
Mhm.
Because we see her moments with Tiki where she's like, Cat Noir's not going to come, he's totally devoted to Ladybug. And then she's like, Cat Noir, why the hell are you here? And you're like, are you so fickle that you've moved on to Manynette now? And she's got, like, this weird thing the whole episode where she's like, he's in love with Ladybug. Oh no, he's in love with Manynette. Oh, he's in love with Ladybug. Thank goodness he's in love with Ladybug. And Tiki's just, like, looking at her like, Manynette, you are Ladybug. And,
She's
like,
having an identity crisis, okay?
apparently.
Cut the girl some slack.
I mean, you know, but we get to see Manynette do her whole thing of, rejecting, like, dealing with the rejection from Cat Noir. And I love the dramatics of her throwing herself on the table and just like, my life is over, I'll never have love.
I like that she's like, I'm gonna name my hamster Loneliness. That was the best part for
Yes,
me.
oh my gosh. And she's like runs up the stairs.
And Cat Noir's just there eating. He's just like, oh crap. This ain't good.
It's just, I love Manynette in this episode. And then you gotta love at the end when she's talking to her parents and Cat Noir, how she's saying, you know, that it is okay that Cat is in love with Ladybug. And it's kind of nice because she's kind of being like that she's seen how much Cat Noir cares about her and everything. Like, not just how he cares about Ladybug, but the fact that he seems to really care about Manynette too.
Yeah.
And so it's like she's seeing more of him here. And that was really nice.
I'm gonna take a moment for some salt, okay? Sorry. Salt break. Okay, what I find kind of irritating though is that this whole episode is just kind of like, at least at the end, it's all about Manynette learning to accept the fact that, you know, Cat Noir has feelings for someone else. And it's like, oh yay, great, she's learned that, you know, I put that in quotes because she wasn't in love with Cat Noir.
Yeah.
But the thing is that any other episode, it's okay that Cat Noir continuously refuses to accept the rejection. The fact that Ladybug is not into him. And it's like,
yeah,
double standard.
definitely. Okay. Very double standard.
Alright, sorry, end of salt break. It was a good episode. I do love the episode. Okay?
So from there, I guess we'll go into Cat Noir. And I enjoyed Cat's reactions to a lot of things in this episode. Like, I just love the fact that he is just like, his voice when he says Manynette's name after she confesses is just like, so like, he is so happy that if somebody was going to confess to him, it was Manynette.
Okay, I do have to say that I love how adorable he is in having to deal with the fact that someone has a crush on him, especially that it's someone who in his civilian life is his friend.
Yeah, it's like he tries to be so careful with her.
Yes, I do have to say that I can appreciate the fact that he really does not want to hurt her, and I feel like that really makes sense because of the fact that he's had this continuous rejection from Ladybug, and so he doesn't want her to feel as bad as he does.
Yeah, which is totally good that he's at least learned something.
Yeah, he's learned some empathy, which I think he is an empathetic person.
Yeah.
You know?
And so that was really nice to see Cat and how he's like dealing with the whole Manynette's in love with me, but I can't be with her because I'm in love with Ladybug. And then, I mean, Cat just, I love his reactions to Tom questioning him. And his reaction is just like, you know, like, I get that Manynette's in love with me. I'm awesome. I'm so awesome that I could fall in love with me. It's like, Cat, you don't say things like that. Like, really. Like,
but, like, I feel like that's him putting on a little bit of a show, because I don't think he's that arrogant, you know?
True.
I mean, I think most of his arrogant attitude is for show. It's him putting on this,
like, persona?
Bravado?
Yeah, bravado.
Yeah.
Because he wants, you know, it's him distancing his behavior from Adrian.
Yeah.
From how he behaves as Adrian.
It's how he deals with his insecurities, and I think it's really cute, you know?
Yeah. I loved Kat in this episode. A big thing I think is the Akuma battle.
Mhm.
Because he's very careful with how he fights her dad.
Oh yeah, and I am not normally such a huge fan of Cat Noir and Adrian just because he has some problematic areas. But this is the one episode that I'm like, I really loved how he was just as a person in this whole episode, and I feel like it really shined a light on the good parts of him.
And it was nice because this is one of the only episodes that we get a whole Akuma battle where Ladybug doesn't actually do the fighting.
Mhm.
It's all Cat, and he's the one doing it. He's in control of the situation, and he tries so hard not to hurt her dad, and he's trying to talk him down the entire time, which is really nice that he's approaching it that way.
Yeah.
And then, at the end, we have him pretty much collapsing onto Ladybug because he's just worn himself out completely, which we rarely see him like that after Nakuma.
Yeah, and like you were saying, I think that's because he didn't want to hurt Tom, because I think he could have taken him out,
Yeah.
Like, I really have faith that Cat Noir could have. But he was trying to be careful, he was trying to not hurt him, and plus, I mean, they're fighting, on this, plant thing in the air. It's like, they are so far, up in the sky,
it's really dangerous.
Yeah, he has to be careful.
Yeah, and it's not like he has a yo-yo. He can't bring them back up there. He just has his baton, which I think Tom breaks.
Yeah, I think he, chops it up or something.
Which I thought that was cool. But, it's just, Kat was really great in this episode, and then it leads down to the fact that when Manynette's parents go running back into the house to check on her at the end, he goes too. He's just like, I gotta go check on Manynette, and I love that he was so worried about her all the way up till the end.
Yeah.
So that was really good. It was nice to see some good characterization in this episode. I guess from there we can move on to the love square dynamic within the episode.
Love square.
Which this episode is Meerkat with a little hint of Lady Noir, but pretty much all Meerkat.
Meerkat. Is that the fan favorite? Sorry.
I think it is.
I'm not super involved in Love Square. I mean, yeah, I'm Adrian and Manynette, fair endgame, but they're not my favorite pairing. Love Square isn't,
But yeah, I mean, I think Meerkat is the most popular outside of the Love Square, with the follow-up probably being Adrianette, then Lady Noir, and last is Ladrian for some reason.
Yeah, and if I had to pick one that's my favorite, I would say it's Ladrian, but no one seems to really care about that. Sorry, I'm a little salty.
But I mean, Meerkat I think is some really great dynamics because of the fact that it's Manynette who they have a real option for friendship because they're not in love with each other, as was shown in this episode.
Now, I do have to agree with that. I love the friendship dynamic of Manynette and Cat Noir, and that's because they don't have feelings for each other in that way, and so they can be friends.
And I mean,
it's very pure. I love it.
It's really nice to see it because, we get Manynette confessing to Cat, and Cat's reaction is just that he's, really happy. Because, yeah, apparently it's the first time Adrian's ever been confessed to. I'm just I can't wait to see how excited he gets when Manynette confesses to Adrian. Because it's I feel like the boy's just going to be excited no matter what. Because it's Manynette and everything. And because Manynette's awesome. But you gotta love, that Cat is so excited about, being confessed to and everything. We just have the beautifulness of their awkward, hello kiss when, he gets there and stuff. And that's really funny.
Is that, a French thing?
Yeah. They just, because we don't really see it that much in the show, aside from, I think, the Christmas episode, and then, in Despair Band.
Oh, yeah.
With Chloe and Manynette. It's always them when we see it for the most part, because it's the awkwardness of that they have to and they really don't want to.
Okay, we're getting off track.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyways, but Cat and Manynette, it's hilarious because it's they aren't not wanting to. They're just super awkward about it.
And they were like so close to each other's mouths. It was like, are they gonna like mess it up and accidentally kiss on the lips?
Oh my god!
You know, and Tom would have been like, yes, I am here for this.
He would have been like, sign the marriage papers right now.
Like, here we go.
But I mean,
it's like, Tom, they're only 14.
Sabine having to step in here. But we got some really good Maricat here in this episode. It was just the whole thing with the love square, I think, was that the love square in this episode really got to progress here. And so they each viewed each other in a different way, because it's the first time I think that Kat has ever had to view Manynette as a potential love interest. And so that's definitely progress for the love square.
Yeah.
So next is talking about the Akuma.
Akuma.
And this one we have, I mean, I thought that they did a really good job with Weredad.
Yeah, something that, I don't know if I've said this before to you personally. Not to you guys, sorry. But it was very reminiscent of Beauty and the Beast. Because it's a rose and he's a beast. Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, it's an interesting combination of several fairy tales. Because we've got, you know, Beauty and the Beast here. We've got some Jack and the Beanstalk kind of element.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Cat Noir was Jack.
Yes, he was totally Jack.
I'm sorry. I got excited for a second.
But I mean, it was really cool, the whole theme of the Akuma. They had an excellent reason for the Akuma.
Oh yeah, that was like, you know, sometimes it's like I'm like they're really struggling to find a way to get this Akuma. But for this one, I was like, yes, I can totally get it. You know, you like when it's your kid, you're gonna be really protective of them.
Yeah.
And it felt very like spot on.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, I didn't even mean to do that.
But I mean, one thing that I thought was really interesting is the fact that when Kat goes running back into the house after the Akuma happens, at first, it seems like he really thinks that Manynette's the one that's been akumatized.
Yeah, because he looked a little bit surprised when Sabine told him that it was Tom.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool because it's like, it makes sense in that situation to assume it's Manynette and everything. And I think he would have been really worried. I think it would have affected him a lot more if it had been Manynette. Like, I think it would have been really hard for him.
Yeah.
But, that was really cool to see, him have to go up the whole giant beanstalk to go and fight the Akuma.
Well, it wasn't a beanstalk, it was a rose stalk.
Well,
is that
true.
What that is?
I don't know. It was like this thing.
It was
a vine. It was a vine. I don't know. I don't know how to define this. Like, but
we need to find a botanist or a florist
and ask them what it would be called if a rose grew really high up into the air and like turned into this giant tower thing.
Yes. Is it a rose stalk or is it like a rose vine? Is it a rose stem?
That might be what it is. I would go with
giant curvy stem.
Right.
Okay.
But I think one of the really cool things with this Akuma battle was the fact that Manynette got to save herself. And she did it without needing to be Ladybug.
Yeah.
I mean, she had this whole thing going through this maze of vines, and then she finds the akumatized object, and she's the one that, you know, brings the butterfly out and everything. And then at that point, she gets to transform. And so it was nice to see that she can fight her own battle.
In a way, they kind of showed both of them can be strong without the other. Because, I mean, I think there's also that whole thing of, does Cat Noir need Ladybug? Like, is Ladybug always going to be the stronger of the two of them?
Yeah.
And I think this showed that Cat Noir can hold his own, you know, and that Manynette can be strong. That she doesn't need her miraculous.
Yeah. And it's like, it was, I think it's really good because it shows that they can be strong on their own, but it works, like they need another person.
But they're stronger together.
Exactly! Oh my gosh. So, last thing about the Akuma, I guess, would be the design. The way that he looked as Weredad was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. I wasn't like, oh, it's spectacular, but I was okay with it. It was better than some of the other ones, so I'm here for it.
And I was just noticing it this time that we watched it, that Weredad has vines wrapped around him.
He's also ripped.
That too. But he has vines wrapped around him to prevent him from, like, falling completely off of his little tower thing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting. I didn't notice that before. So for this Akuma, we are going to rate it out of 10 beanstalks.
Okay.
So I give the Akuma an 8 out of 10 for the beanstalks. And what about you?
I give it a 7 out of 10 beanstalks.
Okay, so we're pretty close there. You know, like, we're only off by 1. So I guess that gives it an average of 7.5 out of 10 beanstalks, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, like, as far as Akuma ratings go.
I'll take it.
So, last we want to discuss just overall opinion of the episode. It was a really good episode, I think, as far as most things go. I enjoyed all of the episode, I think. I don't think there was anything specifically I didn't enjoy.
I don't know, Baby August kind of put a damper on.
That poor baby has been akumatized so many times.
And I mean, I thought that Hawkmoth wasn't gonna akumatize him. Like, I thought he was like, that was a mistake.
Apparently, he didn't think it was that much of a mistake.
Maybe he was just like, there haven't been any, like, good options lately. You know, at least I know how to work with this baby.
Like, I wonder if they're related, if, like, they kind of learn how to, like, talk to each other and stuff.
I don't know. Like, he could have learned how to talk.
I mean, he is getting better. So, you know, if he just continues to akumatize August, like, in a couple of years, like, August can really do some damage.
I know. He'll be like, what, like 3?
Yeah, he's gonna have to change up, though, what he akumatizes him into eventually.
Yeah.
Like, he can't keep doing Gigantitan. But, in any case...
Sorry, that went off on a little tangent for a second.
I mean, for our overall rating of the episode, we're gonna talk about out of 10 balconies.
Sorry, I keep singing things.
That's alright, you can sing things. Sing everything that you want to, it's fine.
I'll sing everything that I want to.
So, I would give this episode overall an 8 out of 10 balconies. What about you?
I'll give it 6 out of 10 balconies.
You seem very unsure.
Don't question me.
So, that gives us an average of a 7 out of 10 balconies for this episode, which, just like with the Akuma, this is a pretty good rating. I'm looking forward to getting to... I wonder if we'll ever have anything that we're like, this is like a 15 out of 10. Like, I wonder if we'll hit anything that's like that.
Oh, I think I know which one we will.
Well,
but I'm not going to spoil that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we do. Anyways, I think that's everything that we wanted to discuss for Weredad. So we will be back next week to talk about technically episode 3 of season 3. Don't really know what the numbers are anymore because it's kind of been all over the place. But we'll be talking about Chris Master next time. If that didn't give you an idea of what we think. But no, so we'll be back next week to talk about Chris Master. For now, go ahead and stay tuned to hear the next part of our Audiofic. And we will see you all then. Thank you so much for visiting the FANDOM-sphere.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello and welcome back for the Audiofic portion of our podcast. This week we will be continuing the fanfic Manynette by I'm the Punch Lord, and we will be beginning with Chapter 2, Manynette's First Day of School. Summary. Something seems off with Manynette today. Adrian stretched as he got out of the limo, beaming as he gazed up at the school, feeling ready for the day. He couldn't say why, but today felt like it was going to be a good day. The sun was out and shining, the sky was an energetic blue, and the clouds were puffy and soft. It promised a good day. Adrian started for the steps, ready to wait for Nino, only to pause when he heard a shout for him. He turned, seeing Manynette running to him, giving him a little start when he saw her dressed in pink overalls, her dark blazer gone. Shrugging it off, he greeted as she came to a stop before him. "Hey, Manynette, I like the new look. It's cute." "Aw, thanks, Adrian," Manynette gushed, jumping up and down before him, making his smile grow at her energy. She was in a good mood today. How delightful. Rocking on her heels, Manynette said, "Anyway, I have something for you." "Oh?" Manynette presented a small, wrapped gift, the pink in her cheeks getting a smudge darker. "I spent the night working on this, and with it, I wanted to tell you something." "Yes?" he asked, accepting the gift, curious to see what she made him. Manynette breathed in. "Adrian, I love you." Adrian almost dropped the gift, freezing at the confession. He looked up at Manynette, meeting her bright blue eyes that gazed up at him, noting the soft freckles dotted on her nose. Adrian tightened his grip on Manynette's gift, a tightness building in his throat. Oh boy, this was unexpected. Manynette was amazing, and this was super flattering, but his lady, and Manynette wasn't her, and, Manynette, he started, rubbing his neck, nervous and scrambling to find the right words. I'm super flattered, but... Before Adrian could gently let Manynette down, her eyes widened when she saw an approaching redhead. Adrian jumped when Manynette suddenly shouted, "Alia!" She tore past the surprised blonde, tackling her friend in a big hug, laughing in delight as Alia stumbled from the tackle, barely catching herself in time, and laughing with her as she held on to her small friend. He overheard Manynette present another gift to her best friend, telling Alia that she loved her. Adrian sighed in relief, brushing off the strange feelings in his stomach. Manynette was just being affectionate today, telling her friends that she loved them. That was so nice. Adrian had a slight start when he saw red in the sky, gasping in delight to see Ladybug out and about already. It was rare to see her about in the mornings. For a moment, he almost moved to run to a secluded spot to transform so he could join her. He could afford to miss a bit of class. But before he could give in to his want to join her, he heard Nino call for him, loud enough to get Ladybug's attention. She stopped, turning to stare down at the school. Adrian liked to think her gaze settled on him as she waved good morning to the school before rushing off. Adrian gave a soft sigh and moved to greet Nino, only to jump when Manynette dashed right past him, tackling his friend as she shouted, "I love you, Nino!" As his friend blushed and stuttered, Adrian frowned as he stared at them. Where was his hug? Alia huffed as she sat down, lips pursed. She couldn't believe Manynette sometimes. She confessed to Adrian, actually confessed to him, and what does her girl do? Zip away to give her a hug and tell Alia that she loved her. Manynette had finally confessed, and she goes and runs away to tell another that she loved them. Now Alia didn't mind. She loved Manynette too, and it was nice to hear it from her best friend. But at the same time, what was going on with her friend? Confessing to Adrian was a big thing. It was the dream. They were going to reach it one day, it was going to work out, and they were all going to be happy, and she blew it. She confessed, ran off, and declared her love to another. Alia pinched the bridge of her nose, shaking her head and feeling her long hair bouncing against her cheek. Was it the nerves that got to Manynette? Was it just too much? Was she just affectionate today? Well, actually, she did seem kind of off. Alia frowned, sparing a glance to her best friend's empty seat. Manynette was affectionate. There was no denying that. As soon as the girl got the okay, she was going to be all over you affectionately. It wasn't odd that she was affectionate. What was odd was that she was being affectionate with everyone. Manynette usually kept that affection with those she was close to, and to those she knew were okay with hugs and her being all over them. That usually meant Alia got all the attention. But today, well, that extended to everyone, and that was just weird. Manynette was usually a lot more self-conscious than that. Alia shook her head, dismissing it. It was probably nothing. Perhaps she just had a great night's sleep and was energized and giddy today. It was sometimes like that with her little sisters. They had a good sleep, they would be bouncing off the walls. Alia turned her gaze to Adrian, an opportunity sparking in her mind. With a grin, she leaned down and poked the back of his head. Adrian jumped a little and turned, raising a brow as he met Alia's playful gaze. "So, Manynette told you that she loves you?" Alia asked. "She did," Adrian confirmed. "I was pleasantly surprised." Alia's smile grew. Yeah, she's in a really good mood today. You know what would help her be in an even better mood? What? What if you told her that you love her back? Alia proposed, struggling to keep her smile from being too big. Play it cool, she kept reminding herself. If it worked out, it was going to make Manynette's day. Alia was such an amazing wingwoman. Her ship was going to sail. Adrian hummed, considering it. I suppose, he murmured, it wasn't a bad idea. Let Manynette know that she was loved and cherished back, just as she made sure everyone knew today. Since he couldn't quite give her a gift back yet, this could possibly make up for it. Yeah, that settled it. He was going to tell Manynette that he loved her back. She was a good friend, and she had made sure he knew how much she cared and loved him. It was only natural that he returned the favor. Just as he decided that, Manynette hurried in, dressed differently than they had seen her before. Her hair was in a bun, and she was wearing a suit. She was carrying a bunch of papers in her arms. Sorry I'm late, she called out, keeping everyone's eyes on her as she went to Boustier's desk, setting the papers down with a sigh. I came as quickly as I could, but I had to get these done. When did you change clothes? Chloe demanded, brow raised. That was so extra. Manynette gave Chloe a look and rolled her eyes. Chloe, priorities. She picked up a sheet and waved it. I wanted to talk about our next event, the skating competition. There's a what? Alex called out, standing up slightly. Manynette waved to her, saying, Exactly. We're not the best at spreading news about all the upcoming tournaments and events. I didn't even hear about the gaming competition until the day of, when I heard it by chance as I walked past the library. So we can work on spreading word better. Manynette, I have to stop you right there, Madame Bustier interrupted, making Manynette pause. I'm glad of the effort, but now isn't the time or place. But there's so much to do and go over, Manynette protested, looking very much alarmed as she waved to the pile of paper. Those had to be put up. Bustier winced. Look, Manynette, I'm sorry, but now isn't the time. I know Madame Mendeleev was too much in our last meeting, but don't take it to heart. We'll discuss it after class. But to your seat, please. With a sigh, Manynette gathered up the papers and went to her desk, pouting. Alia gave Adrian a look, and he turned, offering Manynette a small smile. Hey, he greeted. Manynette hummed, slouching over the stack she spent so long designing and printing and making sure it was perfect. If, it'll make you feel better. I love you too, Manynette. Manynette blinked, meeting Adrian's gaze, looking a little surprised. Alia held her breath with anticipation. This was it. It finally happened. They both confessed, and, with a small smile, Manynette said, Aw, thanks, Adrian. That's really sweet, but I'm sorry. I would like to, but I'm just too busy for a relationship right now. Adrian stared, mind short-circuiting, as he tried to process Manynette's comment. Beside her, Alia's jaw dropped. Nino turned and raised a surprised brow. Everyone in the class, minus Chloe, who was doing her nails, stared. Before anyone could say anything, Ivan walked in, blushing, with a Manynette in pink overalls hanging off his shoulders, trying to hug and hold her huge friend. He paused when he saw Manynette already in her seat, and the whole class rapidly looked between the two, taking in the two Marynettes. All of them jumped when a third Manynette appeared in her usual attire, though with a bun instead, waving some paperwork. Sorry I'm late, she cried. Had to do some quick deliveries, but I'm relatively on time and have the homework done on time. She set the homework down with a pumped fist, muttering, Yes! That Manynette paused when there was no answer. She turned to see everyone staring at her, and brightened when she saw the other two. Oh, hi, Presinette, Karenette. Didn't think I'd see you two here. Chorinette, Presinette cried, jumping up and giving Alia a fright. Thank goodness you're here. You can cover for me. Of course, attending class is one of my jobs. And I get to go and give more hugs, Karenette cried, dropping from Ivan's shoulders, giving the boy a chance to hurry away and hide at his seat, staring down with wide eyes as the three Marynettes came together. What is going on? Chloe shouted, reeling back in her seat far enough that she backed right into Sabrina. Why are there three of you? Presinette gave her a flat stare. Chloe, priorities. Karenette giggled. Well, we're Manynette. No need to freak out. We're here to get all of Manynette's responsibilities done, Presinette added. And to stay on top of them, Chorinette added. So while you attend class, Chorinette, I'll start putting these up and... Oh, yes, Alex? Alex dropped her raised hand, leaning forward eagerly as she asked, Can I hear more about this skating tournament? Of course. Actually, you can help me put these flyers up while I explain. Awesome, Alex said, hurrying down to join the grinning Manynette. Are you insane? Chloe demanded. She's clearly an Akuma. Hey, this is one of the chillest Akumas I've ever seen. Plus, this is Manynette. There's nothing to fear. Yeah, Manynette added. Too busy for trouble. Plus, trouble is chaotic and would get in the way of work, and... yeah. Oh, by the way, Manynette, Adrian just told me that he loves me. Manynette gasped loudly, turning to Adrian. Really? Adrian admitted, not looking to Chloe as she gave him a betrayed gape. Manynette sniffed, her eyes going watery. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Adrian, you've just made my morning. Manynette set a hand on Manynette, squeezing it. Keep it together, Manynette. I know, just give me a moment. I'm so emotional right now. Oh, Manynette, Rose's voice standing up in the back, also getting watery-eyed. Here, you want to hug it out? Yes, Rose. Manynette, Rose cried, rushing down and into Manynette's arms. Manynette cleared her throat, trying to gently nudge the two apart. Okay, yes, this is nice and cute, but we're behind schedule and class needs to get going. And don't you have more people to hug, Manynette? Yes, I do, Manynette said, giving Rose one more squeeze before she drew away, cupping Rose's cheeks and promising, Thank you, Rose. You are one of the sweetest things in this world. Okay, let's go so class can get going, Manynette said, pulling Manynette away, Alex trailing behind her, eager to learn about the tournament. Bye, Manynette cried. I love you all. Manynette hurried to her seat, sitting at attention, gazing eagerly at Bustier, ready for class. Bustier stared back, unsure what to say. Chloe was the first to speak. I don't feel safe being in the same room as an Akuma. Can I go home? Manynette rolled her eyes. There's no need for that. I'm not going to do anything. I don't care. You're an Akuma, and I don't want to be in the same room as you. Isn't it a rule now that the class has to evacuate when there's an Akuma about? No, don't do that. We need to stay on schedule, Manynette cried. I won't do anything, I promise. Bustier uttered, unsure of what to do. Before she could answer, Adrian jumped out of his seat and raced away, shouting, Sorry, I just remembered. I have a shoot I had to go to. He was gone before Bustier could answer, leaving the unsure teacher alone as she glanced back to the Akuma. Adrian ran to the empty locker room below. Slowing, his Plag darted out from under his jacket, giggling as he spun about in the air, his green eyes slanted with amusement. Oh my, Plag said with a coy smile. So many princesses. How are you going to have time to attend to them all? We'll make time, Adrian declared, doing one last look around. One of them has to have the possessed item, and it shouldn't be too hard to get it from Manynette, right? We'll see, Plag said. As sweet as she can be rather fierce sometimes. I doubt we'll have anything to fear. Let's go. Plag, claws out. Cat Noir raced out, ears perked as he listened for one of the Manynettes. It was time to save his friend. When Cat heard, Monsieur Harprel, I love you. You're one of the coolest dads I know. He raced towards it. All right, get the possessed item, take it to his lady. He grinned as he went. It would be a piece of cake. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode of FANDOM-sphere. We'll be back next week for to discuss the next episode of Season 3, as well as to read the next chapter of Manynette, our audiofic. Go ahead and, if you haven't yet, follow us on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, and you can subscribe to YouTube or SoundCloud to get notifications for our podcast. And we'll be back with another episode next week. Thank you for visiting the FANDOM-sphere.